What's going on, guys? MBG here, and today we're going to be talking about the 2020 NFL playoffs, Super Bowl 54, NFC versus AFC. We got 12 teams remaining, and a lot of the seeding shuffled today, as we have the Niners at the 1 seed after they defeated the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. We got the Packers at the 2 after they narrowly escaped against the Lions today. We got the Saints at the 3. We got the Eagles at the 4 after the Cowboys just choked all season. And then we got the Seahawks at 5. They could have got up to 3, but they decided to lose tonight at home with Marshawn Lynch. And then we got the Vikings at 6 on the NFC side. They've been kind of steady all year. Not really too crazy, but there they are at 6. And then on the AFC side, we got the Ravens at number 1. They have been just dominating. I don't know how many in a row it is exactly, but they're 14-2, and their only losses are to Kansas City and the Browns. And then we got the Chiefs at number 2 after the Patriots somehow lost to the Dolphins today. Let's go Dolphins. How about that one? And then we got Patriots at 3 after slipping to the Dolphins once more at home. So they'll be playing the Titans. We got the Texans at 4. They've been up and down all year. They've had a lot of injuries, but they might be getting J.J. Watt back, so that's a big help. We got the Bills at 5. They've been very steady all year, but they haven't played. They've played a good amount of competition, but we'll see how they can go with their first round with Josh Allen as quarterback. Then we got the Titans at 6. They've been picking it up a lot recently. Once they decided to put Ryan Tannehill in as a starter instead of Marcus Mariota, they've been kind of going off. So they're kind of a sleeper team as well. Alright, so let's start talking about the Patriots and the Titans on the AFC side. So this is the 3 versus the 6 matchup, and it's got the Titans traveling to Foxborough, where the Patriots have been notoriously dominant for many years. About 10-15 years. Tom Brady has 6 rings. We've all heard a lot about it. We all know how dominant the Patriots are when it comes to playing here in the wintertime, in the playoff time. But the Titans, they are streaking. They got Ryan Tannehill at the quarterback now. They got Derrick Henry, who is one of, I don't know if I would say top 5, but he's definitely top 10 running back. But in these conditions, if it's snowing or something like that, that definitely bodes well for the Titans because they've got an extremely good run game. Through Derrick Henry, who's known to just go off randomly. Any day that guy can go off for like 3 touchdowns, 200 yards. You never know when it's going to happen, and it could happen in one of these games. So they've got that going for them. But the Patriots have probably the best defense in the NFL. They are at home. They got Tom Brady. They got Bill Belichick. You know that they're not going to go out without throwing a punch. So this will be a really interesting 3 versus 6 game. A lot more interesting than I think if it would have been Chiefs versus Titans. That game could have been interesting too, though, because the Titans have been notorious at giving the Chiefs struggles. But now we have Patriots. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Patriots here. Going to take the safe bet. Not going to bet against the Patriots in the playoffs. But Titans fans, don't worry. I understand why you think you will be able to get this upset. And if Derrick Henry can go off, then there definitely is a good chance of that happening. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Texans and the Bills. So this one's going to be down in Houston. The Texans just rested like all of their starters today because they had nothing going for them, and they didn't really care if the Titans got into the playoffs, which I kind of would if they were my division rival, but that's whatever. So the Texans are at the 4, and they're playing the Bills. So this one kind of depends a lot on Houston's health. I'm not sure on the status of Will Fuller. J.J. Watt, I don't know if he's going to be playing or not. I'm going to say that's very unlikely that he's playing, but if he is playing, that's a huge plus for Houston. But Buffalo has been playing really well this season, very, very well. This is going to be another really good wildcard game right here. Probably the second best wildcard game after that Patriots-Titans game. I'll say that would probably be the best wildcard game. We got Deshaun Watson versus Josh Allen, 2 young quarterbacks who I don't think have won playoff games yet. I don't think Houston's won a playoff game with Deshaun Watson yet. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Bills are going to go ahead and win this one in NRG Stadium. I'm not sure. I just don't trust Houston enough at this point, and I like the Bills' defense a lot. The defense is very important in the playoffs, and I'm not sure about the Houston defense at all. The Bills have a very solid defense. Their offense is trending upwards. Josh Allen's been playing better. He can run, he can throw, he can do it all. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Bills, which means the Bills will be playing the Ravens and the Patriots will be playing the Chiefs. Once again, back-to-back years, we'll have Patriots and Chiefs playing, and then we got the Ravens and the Bills. So let's go over to the NFC side of the bracket. We got the Saints and the Vikings, and we all know what happened the last time these teams played. We got the miracle in Minnesota, the Stephon Diggs catch. That was absolutely heartbreaking for the Saints, and I feel like they're going to absolutely put it on the Vikings for that one. They are not going to be very happy about that, but the Saints this year, they've been kind of just going along. I really thought they were going to get the 1 seed in the NFC, and I don't know how they didn't end up getting that, but they dropped some games they really shouldn't have. But they did lose Drew Brees for an extended amount of time, and Teddy Bridgewater played well. We'll give him that. But yeah, so the Saints, they got weapons everywhere. They got Drew Brees, who we all know about. We got Michael Thomas, the best wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. Got Alvin Kamara, top 5 running back, maybe top 10. But on the other side, we do have the Vikings, and they have some good weapons as well, so we can't count them out. They got Kirk Cousins, who, I don't know, like, he really just struggles in prime time. I really don't understand why, but you cannot trust this man on a Monday night, any night game. I don't know. Kirk Cousins just cannot handle the pressure. I don't know why, but that's just what it seems like. But they do got Dalvin Cook, who is arguably top 3 running back, and they also have Stephon Diggs, who is a very good receiver. So they definitely have weapons on their side, and their defense is solid. But I'm going to go ahead and say that the Saints have the edge on defense and on offense. I think the Saints, I don't think this one will be very close. I think the Saints are going to blow out the Vikings, kind of. They're going to put it on them for that Minnesota miracle. They are not going to be happy about that. So now we go on to the last and probably the worst of the playoff games, in my opinion. I mean, the wild card games. We have the Eagles and the Seahawks. So this one's going to be in Philadelphia due to the fact that the NFC East was awful this season. We got Russell Wilson and the Seahawks traveling in to Lincoln Financial. But I'm going to go ahead. So let's just talk about the teams first. We got Seattle. We got Russell Wilson. Marshawn Lynch is back. We got Tyler Lockett. Chris Carson. That guy's a monster. The Eagles. They literally have no receivers right now. I don't even know what the status is going to be of their receivers. All I know is like all of them are hurt. All their playmakers. But Miles Sanders, that guy. If there's a difference maker that can help the Eagles in this one, Miles Sanders needs to go off. And that guy's going to be really good for years to come. Make sure you draft him in fantasy next year. But Carson Wentz, he's going to have to play one heck of a game if they're going to make it through this thing. And the defense also. Like, the secondary on Philadelphia is awful. All of their fans know this. Like, they're probably surprised that the Eagles even got into the playoffs. So I'm going to say that Seattle will win, but I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit closer than people think. I think Seattle they'll probably win by about 10, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this one. Alright, so now let's move on to the divisional round. We got the Ravens playing the Bills on the AFC side, the Chiefs, the Patriots, and on the NFC, we got Niners versus Seahawks, and we got Packers versus Saints. So let's start on the AFC. We got Bills and Ravens as the first matchup. So these teams did play earlier this year, and the Ravens did win 24-17 in Buffalo. It was a pretty tightly contested game. It was about 17-9 going into like the third quarter. But the Ravens, I don't know, Lamar only had like 150 passing yards in that game. He had 3 touchdowns. So he was throwing the ball through the air on the Bills defense. But we all know about the Ravens. I mean, they got the #1 rushing attack, so they're definitely going to need to get that going. The status of Mark Ingram is definitely going to be very important for this game. Luckily, the Ravens do have a lot of rest coming up. They got a whole week and a half off-ish for Mark Ingram to get healthy. So if he gets healthy, that is a huge plus for the Ravens. But if he can't get healthy, that could spell bad news for them. The Bills this year, I already talked about them, but they are going up. I just don't know if this is their time yet. Josh Allen doesn't have any playoff experience, and this is his first shot at the playoffs. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one to the Ravens. They're at home. They got the MVP. They got the #1 rushing attack. They got a pretty good defense. So I'm going to give it to the Ravens at home against the Buffalo Bills, led by Josh Allen. I think the Bills will be doing good soon, but so just don't be mad about it if you're a Bills fan. I know some of you guys get angry, but I'm going to go with the Ravens in this one at home against the Bills. So next on, we got the Chiefs-Patriots rematch once again, the game we're all waiting for. We all love watching these two teams play. It's always a classic. This one's going to be in Arrowhead Stadium due to that Miami win in Foxborough. That's really unfortunate for the Patriots, and they don't get a week off, and the Chiefs get a week to prepare. Andy Reid gets a whole week to come up with schemes against this Patriots defense. So in that first game, if you guys remember, I feel like the Patriots really couldn't get anything going on offense against the Chiefs unless they were using trick plays, as all of for their first 2 scoring drives, both were on trick plays. There was like a flea flicker, I think, on the first one. I don't know, a receiver threw a touchdown or something. So I think the Patriots are using a lot of their trick plays on the Chiefs early, and that's going to come back to haunt them in this game, because now the Chiefs did get the seat above them, and they've exposed some of the plays that are going to work against the Chiefs. And the Chiefs defense is going to have more time to prepare against New England while they're worrying about going off and playing a good Titans team, and the Chiefs are going to be at home. So let's talk about the Chiefs right now. Their defense is much, much improved at this point in the season. At the beginning of the season, they were giving up like the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL, and through like the last, I don't know, it's like 5 weeks, they've been giving up like almost no rushing touchdowns. Rushing defense is much better. One of the best defensive lines in the NFL, if you're thinking about it. Chris Jones, Frank Clark. They got some other good guys on there. They had Emmanuel Ogbah. I think he's hurt. I'm not sure exactly. But then they got in the secondary, they got Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, one of the more underappreciated players in the NFL. That guy makes so many plays for their defense. And then we also got Juan Thornhill, who did get hurt today, so I'm not sure if he's going to be healthy for this game. Hopefully he will be with the week off. And then they got Kendall Fuller, who's a pretty good cornerback. And then obviously on offense, we all know about the Chiefs offense. They got Mahomes, they got Tyreek Hill. Damian Williams has been looking better. He caught like a 90-yard touchdown today, 80-yard. Tyreek Hill still caught up to him. They got Travis Kelce, obviously. So that's the Chiefs offense. And then the Patriots, they don't really need any introduction. They got the best defense in the NFL. They got Stephon Gilmore, the best cornerback in the NFL. They got Tom Brady, who's probably the best playoff quarterback ever. But he is pretty old, and he looked really bad today against Miami. Maybe that's just rust. Maybe he wasn't playing at his best today. We'll see in that Titans game. That'll show us a lot. And they got a decent run game. Rex Burkhead, I'm from Nebraska. That's like one of my favorite players, so it kind of sucks he's on the Patriots. But that guy's a beast. James White, great pass catching back. Julian Edelman, Mr. Always Open on the slants. No one guards him in the slants for some reason. But yeah, they got him as well. So yeah, this will be a really good game, and I think it's going to come down to the wire once again, because this game's always come down to the wire. I'm going to go with Kansas City this time. Last year the Patriots got them at home. This year the Chiefs get them. It's only right. Maybe this won't be as close as I think it will be. Maybe the Chiefs will blow them out. Maybe the Patriots will come in and take care of business. We will see, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. Then we're going to move over to the NFC side. We got Packers versus the Saints at home in Lambeau. So luckily they don't have to go to New Orleans. Nobody has to go to New Orleans other than the Vikings. So this one's in Lambeau, which is a huge help to the Saints, because playing in that freaking stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, is insane for competitors. So you definitely don't want to play them there. But in Lambeau, it's going to be frigid cold. So the Packers, both teams have good run games. They got Aaron Jones on the Packers side. On the Saints side, they got Alvin Kamara. So 2 good run games on both of these teams. Packers got Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, obviously. Aaron Rodgers versus Drew Brees. This is going to be probably the best, not the best one. I think Chiefs-Patriots will be the best game. Saints-Packers, though, that's going to be really, really good as well. So I'm not sure. I'll say this game might be better, too. We got Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers. Battle of the greats right here. Some of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL battling it out. We got Aaron Jones, I already said. The Packers defense is much improved this year. They got a new head coach, Matt McFleur. I can't remember his name exactly. Something like that. But he's been pretty good in this first season. Obviously, they got the 2 seed in the NFC. Saints, they got Sean Payton, who's a mastermind over there. Saints defense, they got Cameron Jordan, who's probably probably the best defensive lineman other than Aaron Donald, one of the best defensive linemen. That guy's a beast. Saints got other good defensive players, so this is going to be a close one, but I think I'm going to give the edge to the Packers just because they're at home in this game against the Saints. If the scripts were flipped and they were in New Orleans, I would definitely give it to the Saints, but I'm going to give this one to the Packers at home in Lambeau. They might be a younger team, but I think they can get it done, but we will see. This is going to be a really good one. It'll probably be a high-scoring game. I can see the Saints winning it, honestly. So this is going to probably be like the closest game other than Chiefs Patriots. That'll be really close too. So then we got Niners versus Seahawks, which is a game we literally just watched like 20 minutes ago, and that one was in Seattle. So they did swap home and aways this year, so that Seattle won in San Francisco, and then San Francisco won in Seattle, which was kind of weird. But yeah, in that first game, the one that was in San Francisco, they won in the overtime. The 49ers defense is just super good. This game really all comes down to how will Jimmy Garoppolo play. And I don't know how much I trust Jimmy Garoppolo, honestly. Half the time I watch Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he's a really good quarterback. Half the time I watch Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he's awful. He throws a lot of passes that should be intercepted, but he just gets really lucky. I wouldn't know. I had him as my fantasy quarterback this year, so I watched a lot of them. And he definitely should have thrown like 10 more interceptions than he did this season. So yeah, I think this game will really come down to how Jimmy Garoppolo plays, and this is his first playoff game too, because he was behind Tom Brady and then he moved here. So yeah, this is his first playoff game as well. And Russell Wilson, he's been there before. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. And I'm going to go with the upset here. This is going to be my big upset. Seattle is going to beat San Francisco in the divisional round, 5 versus 1. The 1 seed's going down. So then that means we have Seattle versus Green Bay, and we have the Chiefs versus the Ravens. Alright guys, now we are into the conference championship round. So, on the AFC side, we got the Chiefs versus the Ravens. Now, this is going to be one heck of a game. So, Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. Mahomes is 2-0 at this point in his career against Lamar Jackson. This game, however, will be in Baltimore. The other 2 games have been in Kansas City. Both were pretty close. The game this year wasn't super close. I mean, I was there, and the Chiefs were pretty much blowing them out until the end, and they came back. But yeah, so there's a lot. You can't really look at that matchup earlier in the season though, because there has been a lot of differences in these teams since then. The Chiefs' defense is extremely improved since that game. Obviously, the Chiefs got a new defensive coordinator this offseason, Steve Spagnuolo, and he's been putting in his defense throughout the season. And the Ravens have been improving on defense rapidly throughout the season as well. So this will be really interesting to see. The Ravens also picked up Marcus Peters, which is an interesting storyline because he played for Kansas City. So that will be interesting to see as well. So both defenses have been improving. Now let's take a look at the offenses. So we got a run-heavy team versus a pass-heavy team, which kind of bodes well for the Ravens depending on the conditions. But the Chiefs can run it as well. They got Damian Williams. He's not that bad. LaShawn McCoy, especially if it's a snow game, LaShawn McCoy is a beast. And we already know Mahomes can sling it in the snow, as we saw earlier this season in Denver. So I don't think that will affect them too much. But yeah, this will be a really interesting game. It's going to be very, very close. We got the MVP, Lamar Jackson. He has not won a playoff game yet. He lost last year to the Chargers. They got kind of destroyed in the playoffs last year, but this is a much different team. So, let's just compare weapons real quick. We got Mark Ingram, who he's obviously a better running back. Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. They're pretty even, I would say. I'd say they're about the same. Mahomes is definitely much more of a passer. We got Lamar Jackson, who's much more of a running quarterback, but there's nothing wrong with that. And then we got receivers. Obviously, I think the Chiefs have an advantage here. Tyreek Hill is better than Hollywood Brown or any other receiver the Ravens have. I can't really think of any other. Also, they got McCole Hardman, who's a big difference maker. That guy's super fast. I could see him making a special teams play or something in the playoffs. Travis Kelce's better than Mark Andrews, although Mark Andrews is pretty good. He's been doing very well this season. I've been following him a lot. So yeah, that's pretty comparable right there, but I'll give the Chiefs the edge in this game. This is going to be a really close one. I might get flack for this one just because I'm a Chiefs fan, but I think the Chiefs have been building towards this all season long. Their defense is much improved. Their offense is really good. The offense has always been good. As long as they can get clicking, I think that the Chiefs will walk into Baltimore and come out with a W, but this game's going to be extremely close, and it's going to come down to the last second, like always with these teams. The game last year was super intense, so we will see what happens, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one by probably 3 points, maybe even overtime. I wouldn't even be surprised. 2 overtime AFC championships in a row, wouldn't be surprised about it. Going with Kansas City, on to the Super Bowl in Miami. So now we got the Packers versus the Seahawks. So this one is a rematch of, was it an NFC Championship game? I'm not sure. It might have been divisional round a couple years ago. I don't know. The Packers the Seahawks came back in an insane way and they beat the Packers. That's what it was. But yeah, so the Packers might be looking for revenge as well. This is kind of a revenge year. We got a bunch of teams playing each other in the playoffs, and I'm kind of flipping the script on a lot of it. I went with the Saints over the Vikings in that revenge game. I went with the Chiefs over the Patriots in that revenge game. Just a lot of little revenge playoff games in here. So we got another one. We got the Packers and the Seahawks right here. So the Packers on offense. We all know about Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, all that good stuff. So compared to the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, he's an extremely good quarterback. I would even say Russell Wilson at this point in his career is better than Rodgers. Don't take offense to that. Rodgers over his career has been better than Russell Wilson, but I'm just saying right now Russell Wilson is playing at an elite level, or he was earlier in the season. Hopefully, if he can go back to that level. We already know Russell Wilson can take his team to the Super Bowl. We also know the Packers can take their team to the Super Bowl. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers has been there many times. Russell Wilson's been there twice. So, I'm going to go ahead and say on this one, I'm going to go with the Packers here. I don't know why, but I just think that the revenge games are going to flip this year, and we're going to get the Packers going on to the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. So this one's a revenge of Super Bowl 4, I believe. So it'll be Rodgers versus Mahomes. This is the matchup we were robbed of earlier in the season when it was Matt Moore versus Rodgers, and the Chiefs kept it pretty close. They actually almost won that game. It was at home, but they did not have Mahomes, so that's not even, you can't even really look at that game and say. But the Chiefs were doing pretty good. That was early in the season, so their defense wasn't really clicking yet. But if we just compare weapons, we got Mahomes versus Rodgers. I'll argue that Mahomes is playing at a higher level right now than Aaron Rodgers. I'll argue that day and night with anybody. Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is probably a little bit better than Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill is that difference maker that you need in the game. He can score a touchdown on any play. Same with McCole Hardman. The Packers got some other good receivers. I can't think of their names right now. We got Aaron Jones, who's way better than any of the Chiefs running backs. That guy is a monster. The Chiefs and the Packers, I don't know. The Chiefs have a very bad offensive line, but their defensive line is top-notch. Their linebackers are decent. They don't really got good coverage linebackers. That's a problem. They do blitz a lot. They can get pressure on the quarterback. So that is a huge advantage for them going into this game. But this is all hypothetical, of course. So we got the Chiefs secondary versus the Packers secondary. Both feature elite corners. I don't really give the edge. I think that's kind of a wash right there. So yeah, this is going to be an extremely close one. It's going to be very exciting. Finally, we get to see these two quarterbacks face off that we got robbed earlier this season of seeing. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the Chiefs in a close one here. I just think it's their year. Their defense has been building up. Their defense is much improved finally. And as long as the offense can get clicking like it was last year, they can hang with anybody. Mahomes showed last year that he has the ability to lead his team in the playoffs, and I'm not worried about it at all. So that's my pick. I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Packers in the Super Bowl in Miami. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Don't go ahead and just leave negative comments because I didn't pick who you wanted to win. That happens usually, but yeah, so just go ahead and say what you want. I'll update in the comment section how it's going while the playoffs are going on, how many picks I got right. Hopefully I can do better this year. Last year I picked the Chiefs and the Saints, and the Saints winning, but I mean, we all wish we could have seen that, but unfortunately no. It was a pretty boring Super Bowl, pretty bunch of snooze fest. But I got most of my, I think I got 3 out of my 4 conference champions right last year, other than the Bears. So yeah, so that's gonna wrap up this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Smash the like button if you did, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.